Been here since day one.
Welcome to Beyond the Surface, the Unfiltered Journeys podcast, brought to you by Glow 365 TV, The Mia Allman Show, and powered by the People's Chat Room. I'm your host, Master Coach Lady Mia, a certified master life coach who specializes in mental health, health and nutrition, self-care, and cultural advocacy. This podcast goes beyond the appearances, diving deep into the raw and real conversations of extraordinary individuals who have broken barriers and redefined resilience. Every episode is a celebration of courage, strength, and transformation. This is Beyond the Surface, where every story inspires real change. And now, let's get started. Welcome to the Mia Allman Show, where we explore stories of purpose, power, and passion of culture. I'm your host, Master Coach Lady Mia, and I'm truly honored to welcome you to today's special episode. Now, on today's show, we are spotlighting a local dynamic organization, the Caribbean and Floridian Association, known as CAFA. And with us is their president and a dear friend of mine, Mr. Andy King. Andy, welcome to the Mia Allman Show.
Thank you very much, Mia. Thank you for having me. And thank you to all your viewers and listeners for supporting the Caribbean and Floridian Association over the years. And we continue to give service to our community. And so I just want to give a big shout out to you for doing such a fantastic job in our community as well as a leader yourself.
Thank you so much for those kind words. So let's take us back a little bit. CAFA's story began with a conversation on the Florida beach. And now we're here leading a full-blown movement. What was the original vision and how has it grown since?
The original vision was a group of folks that migrated or relocated from New York, of course, from Caribbean background, Trinidad predominantly. And their vision was to get together with like-minded Caribbean folks and continue the tradition of carnival, of events like dances and parties and, cultural events that the folks gathered here in Central Florida could enjoy. Mm-hmm. So back in the day, in the early 90s, to be like 1990 to be exact, when this group got together, they talked about hosting carnival-style events and other such that they were accustomed to in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean.
Oh, okay. That's very interesting. Now, for those that don't know you, what island do you represent?
I'm not from an island. I'm from South America, the place called Guyana.
Okay.
And so I migrated from Guyana back in 1982 to New York, spent 12 years there, and then I relocated to Orlando back in the early 90s, 94, 95, 94, at the end of 94.
And that's usually the travel when we leave from the island. We either go to New York, then to Florida, or New York, either to England or to Canada, and then we all end up here.
Yep.
So CAFA has many vibrant cultures that make up the Caribbean diaspora. Some might wonder, why not just focus on one island? What was the power behind bringing everyone together under one celebration?
Well, and you're right. Folks, we've had involvement of particular island-style groups more predominantly to, or more directly to, like Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana. Folks have formed these groups. I think the uniqueness about CAFA is that the beauty of celebrating the entire Caribbean diaspora, I think it lies in the diversity and the unity, that bringing Caribbean folks together. While each island has unique traditions like music, cuisine, and stories, but when brought together, I think they create a rich tapestry that showcases the shared heritage and resilience of the Caribbean people. Over the years, you've had different flavors of institutions that have been put together to try and bring Caribbean people together. Carifta, you had CARICOM, back even further back they had the Caribbean Union, the West Indian Union. But uniting under one celebration, I think the diaspora fosters a sense of belonging and solidarity, and it transcends individual island identities. Bringing together becomes a powerful platform, in my mind, to preserve traditions. You bridge generational gap, because many of the folks, their ancestors came from Africa directly, and they got with them certain attributes. And so bringing folks together, you have to promote pride on a global scale. The gatherings also amplified the Caribbean's influence, I think, allowing vibrant cultures to shine brighter and reach a wider audience as opposed to an individual country line.
Yes, and I think that's what makes, CAFA so unique. And, when I think of my magazine named Caribbean Under One, that is like CAFA, so many, islands, so many cultures, and history there that you guys share among, everyone there. And I attend many of your events, and I've had a good time and, network with everybody and made friends and stuff. So yeah, you guys are doing such an awesome job, in that. Now, one of the missions, you're welcome. One of the missions, you guys is uplifting undeserved our, youth, elders. In the world that's moving like a fast pace, and 2025 is, I can't even speak on that. How does CAFA stay grounded, and keep those values, turned into actions?
It's a real concerted effort because even amongst our membership, there's anxiety. And so we have to make sure that we structure our programs and activities that are mindful of individual constraints and try to make sure that we cover and meet the needs of everyone. And so some of the ways we are impactful would include youth support. That we provide scholarships to graduating high school students. We encourage academic achievement and community involvement, and that youth support goes very deep. Over the last few years, we have been awarding high school graduates that are going on to college in excess of $10,000 each year, for about 5 to 6 students that meet the criteria of our scholarship awards program. We also have community events, and one such is the Caribbean Fusion Festival, which has been celebrated cultural, event in the region, and which we'll be hosting next week on Sunday, April 27th at the Lakefront Park in Kissimmee. It's become a signature event of the city of Kissimmee, and it attracts in excess of 10,000 people from all over Central Florida, Florida as a whole, Atlanta, New York, the DMV in Washington, D.C., Maryland area, Virginia. and along the coastal plains, and even folks from California are starting to come. And then we also have humanitarian services that we've initiated, like our annual turkey giveaway each year at Thanksgiving. And it helps to feed hundreds of families during that time that are disadvantaged. We give away in excess of 400 turkeys each year at Thanksgiving time, along with meals for families that cannot afford. We also support through those programs the Boys and Girls Club of America as well. We provide turkeys to them on a scale for day club in the area, and some others as well that we donate to during that Thanksgiving season.
Now, how long has CAFA been around? How many years?
CAFA has been around since 1990, so this year we'll be celebrating our 35th year of existence. And so we have a myriad of things that we're doing to celebrate this great milestone, beginning with the Caribbean Fusion next week. And then in June, we're having a member and friends cruise to Bermuda for 7 days. And then we have our scholarship event, annual church service around July time frame. And then we have a members picnic in August. September, we will celebrate our seniors. We do a special shout out to seniors. We do an event to celebrate seniors. And then in October, we're taking a trip. I think at this point we have some 50-something people signed up to go to South Africa.
Wow.
And then in December, we're going to have our annual Christmas gala, which has become quite a celebrity event.
Mm-hmm.
People come out in their fancy dandan and enjoy the evening of food, drinks, and merriment. Christmas, just a week before Christmas, at the Civic Center in Kissimmee.
Yeah, boy, you guys stay busy and, keeping the folks involved, with all the events that you have coming up, and that's really good because we need that, here in Central Florida. Now, you've been a part of the organization for quite, some time, and I've known you, for many, many, many years. With so many groups out there, within the Central Florida area, was there ever a moment or were there something that just clicked where you felt this is where I was meant to be? And what pulled you eventually to take lead in the role that you have now as president?
Yeah. I like my community involvement. I've been involved in community affairs since I was at the age of 14.
Mm-hmm.
And so once I got to Central Florida, I took up the mantle again of involving myself in my community because I felt that the involvement procures, your family's standing. Someone has to look out for. It's not all about government. It's not all about your church. Or you have to get involved. And so I remember after my first stint as president of the Caribbean Floridian Association, I led a charge to form the Guyanese American Cultural Association of Central Florida.
Mm-hmm.
That was blended with involvement in the Conference of Heads of Caribbean Organizations of
Yes.
Central Florida, a think tank that arbitrated for wellness of Caribbean folks here in Central Florida. I then forwarded to that, was involved in leadership in the Caribbean American Heritage Month celebrations for quite a few years. Went on to be a member of when we launched the Anne Marie de Gavaya Scholarship Fund.
Yes.
Right? And I'm happy to say that as of last month, we were able to launch an endowment at UCF, University of Central Florida, launching the Anne-Marie Govaya Scholarship Fund for Prosperity. And so each year from now, at least $1,000 will be awarded to a Caribbean American student at the University of Central Florida as a scholarship in the name of Anne-Marie de Govea Scholarship. I am also involved in Solid Rock Community Church, even organizing their Caribbean American Heritage Day celebrations. I'm involved for some 15 years now, continue to be the president of South Chase Parcel 5 Homeowners Association. That's my homeowners association. Served as president of the South Chase West Water Management Association. That's a group of about 5 associations managing their common areas, like their wetlands and stuff like that. I've since stepped down from that post, but I still remain a board member. And then I'm still a board member of the board of directors of the Weatherby Road Master Association here in South Chase as well. So I'm pretty much, leading CAFA, but I pretty much involve myself in other things, and I've lend my abilities to formulating programs and activities that benefit not only the Caribbean community, but the broader Caribbean American community as well here in Central Florida.
Wow. When do you find time to sleep?
That's what my wife says. I'll tell you, for this week, this is about the 6th meeting I've had between 7:30 and this time in the last several days. But I, you find time to sleep. It's just that you get less sleep than others. So
yeah, as a friend of mine,
I'm happy to do the work.
Yeah, I asked a friend of mine that same question because he's always busy, and his response was, "I'll sleep when I'm dead." I was like, okay.
Okay, let's take a quick break, and when we return, we'll continue our conversation with Mr. Andy King, president of CAFA. We'll be right back.
It's that time again, Caribbean Fusion Festival 2025, on Sunday, April 27th, hosted by Caribbean and Floridian Association Incorporated at the Kissimmee Lakefront Park, located 69 Lakeview Drive, Kissimmee, Florida. There's gonna be food, there's gonna be music, there's gonna be arts and crafts. Admission absolutely free. The event is sponsored by the City of Kissimmee, Osceola News Gazette, Experience Kissimmee, Florida, Kissimmee Utility Authority, Toho Water Authority, Advent Health, Lara's Shipping, and Kite Show Tropical Mist Restaurant. Look out for entertainment from steel panist Anthony Steele, Adriana Clark, Nati Ramutar, DJ Code Red, Caribbean Groove Band, and many more. Your MC for the event, Craig Camacho. And for more information, please visit cafainc.org. That is CAFAINC.org. See you Sunday, April 27th for the Caribbean Fusion Festival at Kissimmee Lakefront Park. Remember, it's free.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, my special guest today is Mr. Andy King, and he is the president of the Caribbean and Floridian Association, known as CAFA. Andy, earlier you mentioned one of the signatory events was the annual Caribbean Fusion Festival that is going down this Sunday, April the 27th, at the Kissimmee Lakefront Park. For those who've never attended, can you take us back to the beginning and how did it all got started?
It began in the early 90s as a brainchild of a few city leaders in the city of Kissimmee. And they wanted to, since the population of Caribbean folks was increasing in the city, And then also there was a strong Latin component in the city. They thought that they could bring a cultural event that celebrated the cultures of the growing population. And so in conjunction, the city leaders in conjunction with CAFA's president, a gentleman by the name of Conrad Randolph, they brought together a proposal to bring members of the Latin community together with those of the Caribbean, and it was represented by CAFA. So what they did was they said, we'll do this event called Caribbean Fusion. We'll put up the money, and the groups, you groups come in, you nonprofits come in and help us plan it. Because you're from the Caribbean and Latin America, you could tell us what the highlight should be and what cultural presentations. And it was us, CAFA, and another group called Viva Osceola. But when the planning started, Viva Osceola neglected to come to the table because they didn't. I think they didn't feel that they wanted to work with us. I don't know what it was. So CAFA stayed at the table for quite a few years. I remember the entertainers back then was Lino Dunbar, Leon Caldero, and Craig Macho.
Camacho, yeah, he's been around a while.
Yeah. And so we would go into the meetings as members of CAFA, and we would plan with the city officials, but they would put up the fund. They would pay for the entertainment, they would pay for the stage and whatever. And that went on for quite a few years until late 2000, around 2008, when we had the economic downturn in the nation, and the city decided the recession that they had, and the city decided that they no longer had the funding to continue to fund these events at the level that it warranted. So they called me in and at the time and said, you guys have been at the table from the inception. We want you to take over this event. Of course, we will guide you and provide resources, and hopefully, and so we took it over. And I think the first year in 2009, when I had garnered some folks together along with members of CAFA, and just before, like a couple of weeks before we were to launch the event, some of CAFA's members decided that they didn't see the viability and they didn't think we could have done it, and so it was canceled that year. I then went out into the community and I solicited Ryvan Campbell from the Barbados Association, and some others, a couple of other gents, sat them down and got their buying from a broader Caribbean perspective. They provided me insight, and over the months I went back to CAFA and I said, we're going to do this next year. I don't care what state's level, but we're going to do it. Of course, again, a number of CAFA members voted that they didn't want to do it. So I decided, along with about 4 or 5 stalwart CAFA members, that we were going to put it on. And at that first year, we got about 1,500 people in the park. Craig volunteered his services. Some of the other artists volunteered. The sound system was volunteered. Sean from Trinidad, and a few others. But around 3 o'clock that afternoon, a strong weather storm came and washed everything out.
Wow.
Not undaunted, however, people felt that the die was cast, because what they saw in the park that day, although it was on a small scale, it was well organized, and it was a picturesque view of what Caribbean culture would look like. And so that in 2011, when we launched it again, it garnered about 4,000 people. And then from then onwards, it has matured to the point where now estimates are over 8, 9, 10,000 persons attending each year. and the city of Kissimmee has now stamped it as their signature event. So we get support from the city, from Experience Kissimmee, Kissimmee Utility Authority, Toll Water Authority, Osceola News Gazette, Lara Shipping, Kite Show Tropical Mist Restaurant, and then we have advertisers like yourself, Caribbean American Passport, Positively Osceola, Chris Rockton, Printing Services, and quite recently, even this past week, we had a surprise entry into the sponsorship. Advent Health Hospital has come on board as one of the sponsors. And we also have this year Hits 96.5 radio station has agreed to advertise for free thereon, and a few others that are championing the cause this year. And we're very happy that the event continues to grow and take on wings.
Yeah, that is awesome. And I know it gets, bigger and bigger, each year. And yes, you're doing a great thing. Now, for the folks that, are listening that have never attended, paint a picture for them from the moment, the guests, step into the park, the vibe, smelling all the delicious cuisines, the sound, the music, to everything from mouth-watering cuisine, as I mentioned, because there's vendors of food everywhere. There's also music playing, there's arts and craft. There's some cultural lessons there to be learned. Another steel pan that you have there, and also many vendors, a lot of local businesses come out there. Tell us about the live performances this year that are going to be performing.
Just imagine stepping into a vibrant world where the air is filled with tantalizing aroma of jerk chicken, fried plantains, and other Caribbean delicacies, rhythmic beats of reggae, soca, zouk, salsa, merengue, chutney, calypso. These pulsing rhythms, fill the atmosphere. Everyone, inviting you to dance. There's brightly colored decorations and art to celebrate the rich heritage of the Caribbean. You feast your eyes on all this culture. This year, Caribbean Fusion Festival will have quite a broad spectacle of talent, music. We have everybody from, like I said, Craig Kamash is going to MC. He's also going to perform somewhere through the event. We have DJ Code Red, from the People's Chat Room.
Yes.
We have the daughter of the celebrated Todd Warren, the lead singer, Bunny Ruggs.
Adriana Clark.
Adriana Clark is going to perform with our band as well. We also have a Caribbean Groove Band. And unfortunately, in mentioning them, we just recently lost their lead singer, Corinne Harry, was funeralized about 2 weeks ago. And so they're going to be doing something special for Corinne as well. We have a flavor dance group, some young ladies that have been performed the last 2 years. They're going to be back. And then we have the Naripa Rupa dance, which is an Indo-Caribbean dance group as well. We also have a chutney performer from Trinidad that lives in Central Florida. His name is Nati Ramatar. He's a very popular chutney singer.
Yes.
He's going to perform. We have a Latin duo group, band duo that performed a few years ago. They were well received. They're back. I understand they're very good performers. I think they perform at Disney, called Infusion. They're going to perform. Then we have other DJs that are we have Anthony, a steel pan player, is going to join as well. And we also have Damage Band, which is a group of Dominican. They're from the country of Dominica. They're going to be playing some Souk Goyan music. So there's going to be a cross section of all the flavors. Of course, there's going to be cultural exhibits and art displays.
Okay, let's take a quick break, and when we return, we'll continue our conversation with Mr. Andy King, president of CAFA. We'll be right back.
Been here since day one.
Glow 365 presents The Mia Allman Show, stirring it up every week with real talk, bold interviews, and powerful stories of healing and truth. For Beyond the Surface, the Unfiltered Journey series, airing Friday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on thepeopleschatroom.com, hosted by yours truly, Master Coach Lady Mia. Then catch the vibes again Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time for Callaloo for the Caribbean Soul 365 on iTunesRadio.com, with island flavors, voices of the diaspora to what's cooking in the Dutch pot, upcoming events, and conversations that stir your soul. So whether you're home, on the move, or vibing from yard to abroad, grab some tea, some coffee, or some tamarind juice, and let's get real, raw, and rooted. Watch current and past episodes on YouTube at Glow 365 TV shows, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, where real conversation inspires real change. Welcome back. If you just joined us, my special guest today is Mr. Andy King, and he is the president of the Caribbean and Floridian Association, known as CAFA.
Now, of course, we have events and we party, but there's always a cause behind it. So let's look beyond the fun. There's something deeper here, a call to preserve the culture. How can folks support CAFA year round and not just when it's time to party?
First, they can visit our website at www.cafainc.org. That's CAFAINC.org, and they can view the various pages that address all of the involvement of CAFA, from the educational scholarship awards, turkey giveaway, the different events that we put on, the medical committee, their involvement, the service and education awards committee, the fundraising committee, things they do, and all the members of the executive, all of those things. But like you said, it's a cause to continue to maintain high standards and to continue to support the community. And so it's strictly a volunteer organization. Members donate and contribute out of their pocket towards maintaining some of our regular monthly events. But for an event like the Caribbean Fusion, we need deeper pockets. We need sponsors, which is something that's been a challenge for us over the years. But like I said, because of the quality and the standard of what we put on, we're seeing more Corporate America in the area coming on board. One of the difficulties that we face is that in the Kissimmee area, there aren't distinctive Caribbean businesses in the area. There's a couple of small restaurants and other businesses, but if you go to Orlando, you'll find the Caribbean Sunshine Bakery, the Caribbean Supermarket. You drive along West Colonial Drive, you see all the different Caribbean businesses, and along Old Winter Garden and so Claremont and all, but you don't have that in Kissimmee. So we don't get the support from the businesses like you would get in Orlando, like they get from Orlando Carnival and stuff like that. So we urge the community to support us. Every dollar counts. You could go online at our website and you could sell contributions to treasurer@cafainc.org, or you could WhatsApp the $CAFA Inc. Or you could mail us a check. You could find our address on our website. You could join CAFA and become a volunteer, because over the years our membership has been getting older and older, and we're now in the process of trying to recruit younger individuals to take over the leadership and to man the committees. And so we encourage people to come on board and join. Our meetings are held every fourth Saturday, traditionally, of the month at Solrock Community Church in Kissimmee at 5 o'clock. There are some months when the meetings are held on alternate dates, like Memorial Day weekend. We would do it the week before. But you'll see the calendar on there of the dates and everything. So I encourage you to take a look at our website and to come and be at our meeting. I know this month's meeting, which will be on April 26th at 3 p.m. at Solid Rock Community Church, we expect a visit from the new police chief of Kissimmee, Mr. Brightway, should be there to introduce himself. And so that's another thing that we get involved in. You know, we do a lot of community service. My group volunteers at Give to the World. They donate. They donate to senior centers every Christmas time and Thanksgiving. This past year, they worked with the Army, Toys for Tots, coordinating that. There's quite a few things we do. Right now we're looking at cleanup activity in the community, working as volunteers. So there's any number of things. Plus, we need talent. We need people that can man media and online and help us prepare documentation. But more importantly, I'm looking for partners that could help us write grants. So those are areas that we're hoping to attract talent and folks and members.
Awesome. Before we wrap up, is there anything else that, any words of wisdom or anything you'd like to share that we didn't cover that you'd like to share with the audience?
The one thing I'd like to say is, again, I want to thank the Central Florida community for embracing CAFA and recognizing our value in the community. You know, I want to say that we have a dream to have permanent location on our own. You know, so we remain steadfast. Our group remains steadfast in the pursuance of this ideal. We want to own real property that we can have our activities, events. We can host events. What I've tried to do during my leadership the last few years is to establish and procure our financial stability by doing investments of the funds we have that have sown the seeds and is now propelling us in a good way of standing up seed money to purchasing a building. But we need, like I said before, if we can get grants, I'm sure there are grants in the community that we may not know of, but there's resources available. We need people that partner with us, help us write grants. We want to do the right way. We want to be able to leave a legacy for the future that marks the Caribbean standing here in Central Florida. And we're not too proud to beg. or to ask or to solicit. By the way, we are one of the few organizations that I know of in Central Florida that has a license to solicit funds. Many organizations I know that are nonprofit or otherwise, they don't have a license to solicit funds, even though they're a 501c3 association. CAFA is one of the few that, I don't know any others, but CAFA I know is one of that I know of that has a license to go out and beg people for money officially. Maybe we're not doing a good job with that, but I'd like to encourage good stewards and partners to join us as we seek to represent the Caribbean diaspora here on a good note.
What an inspiring conversation we had today. A big thank you to Mr. Andy King, President of CAFA, for joining us and sharing a heart and soul of the Caribbean and Floridian Association. To learn more about CAFA, please visit online at cafainc.org, and that's CAFAINC.org. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dive into something more culture and wellness. We'll be right back.
It's that time again, Caribbean Fusion Festival 2025, on Sunday, April 27th, hosted by Caribbean and Floridian Association Incorporated at the Kissimmee Lakefront Park, located 69 Lakeview Drive, Kissimmee, Florida. There's gonna be food, there's gonna be music, there's gonna be arts and crafts. Admission absolutely free. The event is sponsored by the City of Kissimmee, Osceola News Gazette, Experience Kissimmee, Florida, Kissimmee Utility Authority, Toho Water Authority, Advent Health, Lara's Shipping, and Kite Show Tropical Mist Restaurant. Look out for entertainment from steel panist Anthony Steele, Adriana Clark, Nati Ramutar, DJ Code Red, Caribbean Groove Band, and many more. Your MC for the event, Craig Camacho. And for more information, please visit cafainc.org. That is cafainc.org. See you Sunday, April 27th for the Caribbean Fusion Festival at Kissimmee Lakefront Park. Remember, it's free.
Tune in to the Mia Allman Show Beyond the Surface, the Unfiltered Journey series, where we highlight men and women of excellence every Friday at 11 a.m. on Raw, Real Conversation, and Wellness and Resilience takes center stage, only on thepeopleschatroom.com. Then we shift gears every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. for Callaloo for the Caribbean Soul 365, streaming live on iTunesRadio.com. A flavorful mix of culture, cuisine, community events, and local business spotlights, where real conversations inspire real change for real people. Welcome back. Let's talk about culture, seeing that we had an amazing guest that's doing wonderful things here in our community. To me, culture is not just what we celebrate during festivals or holidays. It's our language, our music, our food, our beliefs, and our identity. It is how we pass on the truth, the pride, the stories. In the Caribbean, we are rooted in strength, rhythm, and resilience. From the island of my birthplace, Jamaica, national heroes like Marcus Garvey, Louise Bennett Clovelly, Miss Lou, as she's known, to Guyana Chetty Jagan and poet Martin Carter, Trinidad's Dr. Eric Williams, and Calypso legend The Mighty Sparrow, and Barbados cultural icon Rihanna, and Prime Minister Maya Motley. Our legacy is rich. These legends weren't just voices of our time, they were architects of legacy. They fought for freedom, expression, and unity. They use their art, politics, and spirit to move nations. Supporting culture means we support our youth in discovering where they came from because a person's rooted in heritage walks with strength. Along with community support through mentorship, funding programs, and cultural education builds stronger generations. It teaches us pride without ignorance and unity. Let's continue to carry the torch and keep that flame burning so our children and grandchildren know where they are and where they come from. I would like to touch on April's awareness, which is National Stress Awareness Month. It's a perfect time to speak on something that affects so many in our Caribbean American communities: mental health and wellness. Many of us were taught to tough it out, but studies have shown that chronic stress can lead to high blood pressure, anxiety, depression, and even cancer. For Caribbean Americans, stress often comes from struggling cultural identity, immigration struggles, economic challenges, caregiving, and also discrimination. Let's be real. We have to break the silence. Culturally, mentally, health resources are the key. It's okay to pray, but it's also okay to talk to a therapist, a nutritionist, movement, that physical exercise, getting plenty of rest, and community support will help us all. Let's normalize wellness in our household. Stress doesn't have to win, not if we choose healing. Well, as we come to a close, I would like to say a special thank you to Mr. Andy King, President of CAFA, for joining us today and sharing the amazing things that the Caribbean and Floridian Association, known as CAFA, is doing here in our Central Florida area. To learn more, please visit them online at cafainc.org. That's CAFAINC.org. To get involved or donate or attend some of their upcoming events like the Caribbean Fusion Fest that's going down this Sunday, April the 27th at the Kissimmee Lakefront Park. This is your girl, Master Coach Lady Mia, signing off. And I encourage you to continue investing in your well-being and share in our cultural legacy. Don't forget, you can catch me on the Mia Allman Show for Beyond the Surface, the Unfiltered Journeys, each and every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on the People's Chat Room, and every Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on iTunesRadio.com. Until next time, stay rooted, stay resilient, walk good. Remember, real conversations inspire real change.
Been here since day one.
Glow 365 presents The Mia Allman Show, stirring it up every week with real talk, bold interviews, and powerful stories of healing and truth for Beyond the Surface, the Unfiltered Journey series, airing Friday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on thepeopleschatroom.com, hosted by yours truly, Master Coach Lady Mia. Then catch the vibes again Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time for Callaloo for the Caribbean Soul 365 on iTunesRadio.com, with island flavors, voices of the diaspora to what's cooking in the Dutch pot, upcoming events, and conversations that stir your soul. So whether you're home, on the move, or vibing from yard to abroad, grab some tea, some coffee, or some tamarind juice, and let's get real, raw, and rooted. Watch current and past episodes on YouTube at Glow 365 TV shows, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, where real conversation inspires real change.
It's that time again. Caribbean Fusion Festival 2025 on Sunday, April 27th, hosted by Caribbean and Floridian Association Incorporated at the Kissimmee Lakefront Park, located 69 Lakeview Drive, Kissimmee, Florida. There's gonna be food, there's gonna be music, there's gonna be arts and crafts. Admission absolutely free. The event is sponsored by the City of Kissimmee, Osceola News Gazette, Experience Kissimmee, Florida, Kissimmee Utility Authority, Toho Water Authority, Advent Health, Lara's Shipping, and Kite Show Tropical Mist Restaurant. Look out for entertainment from steel panist Anthony Steele, Adriana Clark, Nati Ramutar, DJ Code Red, Caribbean Groove Band, and many more. Your MC for the event, Craig Camacho. And for more information, please visit CAFAinc.org. That is CAFAINC.org. See you Sunday, April 27th for the Caribbean Fusion Festival at Kissimmee Lakefront Park. Remember, it's free.